The European Union, Africa and its peoples have much to benefit from a partnership between equals that affirms a multilateral cooperation strategy in which the trade and economic dimension is one of the essential pillars. The European Union and the African Union have repeatedly affirmed their commitment to a joint vision, a vision based on a strategy that constitutes a partnership for sustainable and inclusive development. Trade relations between the European Union and Africa must take into account the new geopolitical context. Building on the Africa-Europe Alliance and Global Gateway Africa, Europe investment package, we need to accelerate the process towards facilitating framework conditions to integrate African countries in the world economy, from primary commodities to intermediate and final products. In this context, the comprehensive recommendations of the Scholz report on EU-Africa trade and investment relations contribute not only to the future of the bilateral relations, but also to mitigating the negative impacts that the ongoing war in Ukraine is having on both our continents in terms of sustainable development, wealth creation and people's well-being. The economic partnership agreements concluded between the European Union and African countries did not bear as many fruits as expected, but there are many other avenues that could be further developed for boosting the African integration in the world trade. The African Continental Free Trade Area will be the largest free trade area since the formation of the World Trade Organization, given that Africa's current population of 1.2 billion people, which is expected to grow to 2.5 billion by 2050. And the European Union needs to do more to promote Africa trade integration through the actual complementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Parliaments have an important role to play in this, as they can hold governments accountable for their international obligation. Next Saturday begins in Maputo the 42 Joint Parliamentary Assembly, the European Union, Africa, Caribbean and Pacific. And one of the main points to be discussed, proposed exactly by the countries of Africa, Caribbean and Pacific, is how to facilitate this, the trade, mostly the entry of the sustainable production from Africa, Caribbean and Pacific in the European markets and so on, how to improve the sustainable trade between not only the two continents, but the two continents and the four regions. It shows that it is really in the heart of the discussions now. When we are discussing also the terrorism in sub-Saharan Africa, the question of the impact in all the things of the war, in food, nutrition, energy, and so on. But the parliamentaries decided to close its eyes to how to use trade to untape and to create new solutions. A partnership between equals imposes a shift from development support to investment facilitation for sustainable development. In this respect, the Sustainable Investment Facilitation Agreements, the CIFAs, must be used to effectively unlock economic potential, support economic diversification, and promote inclusive growth in Africa. And I think that the example of Angola that is presented us by Professor Maurer is launched during the Portuguese presidency, and this example and the priorities and findings shared by Professor Maurer would be very useful for us to have better practices in the future and to put in the field the wish of the peoples of the two continents. Thank you.